How to transmute your negative emotion, whether it's anger, sadness, and all the vibration on the map of consciousness that are stuck in the survival paradigm into a high frequency, into productive actions, and most importantly, into money. Olivier, what type of low-level emotions have you struggled in the past that you were able to transmute into the right way and into potential money-making activities?
In the past, I was struggling with anger, deep anger. My dad used to, and my brother used to. So it's like an intergenerational link. I was able to transmit that through sports, through working out, because you have two choices. Either you let your bad emotion consume you, either you use it as a fuel. I choose the second option. So yeah, you don't have to be submissive to your emotion. Remember, you are a demigod. So ask yourself how a demigod will act, will think, will feel, think. It all comes down to how you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, etc.
Absolutely. The more ambition you have and the higher your standards, the more normal it is to be enraged, it is to be angry. Let me explain. The higher your standards, the more you see the low-level consciousness of the masses, the more you see the problems about the world, the more you are angry at yourself for not following through your word, the more you're angry about the results that you're getting from all the hard work that you've put out. So it's completely normal to be feeling angry and rage all the time, at least when you wake up in the morning. So the goal is for you to learn how to deal with this anger and transmute it into a positive way, because otherwise you're going to just end up like all those school shooters that are just like completely crazy because they haven't had the chance and they haven't had the tools to transmute their anger, and they are putting that against the world. The goal here is to understand that it's completely normal. You don't have any problems. Don't listen to the bullshit societal narrative telling you, you need 30 pills because you have a problem. You're weird because you're angry. No, this is submissive bullcrap that they want you to take for you to become an ant slave, for you to be profitable for the system. You need to understand that your rage and your anger right now is your greatest ally until you build enough momentum to feel deserving of the high frequency, of the feeling of serenity, gratitude, and abundance. Now, you may tell us, but that seems very schizophrenic. Like on one side, you should be very grateful for, life and what you already want to receive. And on the other, you're angry and you use that as a fuel. No, that's actually what works. In this, you may think that this is opposite in the law of polarity and think that those two are mutually exclusive, but no, you need to remember to be able to operate at the highest level, you're going to have to transcend certain laws of the universe, which one of them is the law of polarity. Meaning that some two things that seem mutually exclusive can actually be used together. Meaning, on one side, you're grateful for the things that you know are going to come to you because you are following your spiritual path, your spiritual mission, and you're aligning yourself on the 3 planes of existence, which is spiritual, mental, and physical. And at the same time, you need to be absolutely pissed off not to be, because you're not where you are, and use that as a fuel for your actions, right? And when you think about it, anger is a very, very powerful emotion simply because it feels like it's so dense and it encompasses your entire being when you're really, really angry. So what does it mean? It means that it's an emotion that gives you a lot of energy, emotion, energy in motion. So it's a very strong energy field that you can use, and you need to transmute it into the right place. Otherwise, if you don't learn that, it's like we've talked about lust on one of your videos. If you don't learn how to transmute lust, if you don't learn how to transmute anger, it's the same thing. It's inevitable. As a man that is ambitious, that you have high standards, you're pissed off about your situation, that's completely normal to be angry. Don't think that it's abnormal. The more ambitious you are, the more you're bound to be angry. And you need to learn how to transmute that. So this is why, for instance, typically in my case, not only did I use this hatred or this anger towards productive endeavors, like building my business, forcing myself to post a lot until I build enough momentum to be feeling deserving of receiving money, working out every single day, using that energy to put in the reps, because the goal really and truly in this three-dimensional realm on this planet Earth is to kind of like learn to recognize the patterns of certain emotions. Literally, I want you to inculcate something in your mind, plant a seed in your mind, is that every single emotion has a personality. Every single emotion has a personality. The lustful emotion is a sneaky one. It comes and it seems like it's progressively overwhelms you more and more and more and more and more. The angry one comes with a slam. And this anger is actually like a best friend that is a bit awkward, because it can give you a lot of energy in the right way. You just need to kind of like channel it in the right way, right? It's the same thing with overwhelm, overthinking. All of those are excess energy that you need to learn to communicate with as a friend with a weird personality and transmute into the right way. So typically, having a morning routine when it comes to your anger is so freaking useful. I'm going to tell you something. This morning, I was absolutely angry. I slept bad. Yesterday I ate something that was past. It wasn't good. So that also fucked up my stomach, and therefore I slept bad and I was very angry and stuff like that. I used this anger and transmuted it thanks to my quantum metaphysical protocol. This is why you need a morning routine, because when you have a clear-cut godlike reality creation morning routine, you're able, whatever emotions you have throughout that day, to use this emotion as a fuel to compound wins, mental wins, spiritual wins, and physical wins. And maybe, Olivier, you want to speak about how your anger was actually a competitive advantage when it comes to putting reps, when it comes to, talking to yourself. Sometimes you're very harsh with yourself, and we're all harsh with ourselves, but you're very harsh with yourself, and you're like, what are you, a bitch? Let's go. We're putting the reps, right?
Yes. When it comes to working out, I use this as a fuel, because my anger helps me to get in shape. When it comes to business, I use that as a fuel to give more energy to the people who watch me. When it comes to coaching, when I am in front of my clients, my customers, I use this as a fuel again to give them everything I have within me. And from a spiritual perspective, you have to understand that lust or anger are entities. What do I mean by that? Is if those two bad emotions controls you, you have to pray. Why do I say that? Because they can sabotage your destiny. Yes, you heard it right. It's okay from a physical perspective to have that within you, lust or anger or whatever emotion you have within you. But if you lost control over them, it becomes a problem, because it's just a question of balance. Who has the control? The entities or you? And if you know that you lost this control, pray. But not in a submissive way. Please, God, help me. No, be more assertive, affirmative. You understand? You know what I mean? And the more assertive and affirmative you will be, the less control those bad emotions will have over you. So yes, it's a bit weird. From a physical perspective, it's an advantage, but from a spiritual perspective, it's a disadvantage.
Absolutely. It's the same way as you can use your phone as a tool to make money, or the phone can control you and enslave you into low energy, into echo chambers. It's the same thing. On the physical standpoint, you need to be able to use them as a tool, and on the spiritual standpoint, you need to make sure you have the upper hand over those entities, over those egregores. One of the most common trait that I've met from all the people that I've met in real life that are extremely successful is you can sense that they have this bottled anger that they use in the right way. Our friend typically, that is extremely successful in every single aspect, the unlimited energy that he has that is needed for him to excel in every single aspect. By the way, you need more energy as an entrepreneur than a 9-to-5. You need obviously more energy if you want to date girls at the top level, because they're going to be energetically more how do I say this? They're going to take more of your energy than a normal girl, for instance, right? You're going to need more energy if you want to have a better body than a slob, for instance. It takes more energy and more discipline and more willpower to go work out than to fucking eat some chips and being couch potato, right? So every single time you want to excel in one aspect of your life, you will need more energy. So it all comes down to leveling up your energy first. How you do that is literally, as we said, you recognize the emotions that you wake up with, and you learn to transmute those types of emotions. I want you to kind of like visualize those emotions as friends, literally. Weird friends, but that you need to take around with you some days just for a trip. And you need to know their personality and you need to transmute them in the right way. So our friend, we have a very successful friend in every single aspect of his life. This guy, literally, you can sense that he's always like, it's like a bottled anger, right? The bottle can like explode and he can reverse either angry energy or it can actually, it can transmute into a loving, more positive energy. But this type of person is so high energy all the time because he has learned to transmute those emotions and he understands his emotions. This allows him to not only be worth multiple hundred millions of dollars, this allows him to date the most beautiful creatures on earth. Some of the most beautiful creatures on earth. Everybody's different, right? Everybody has their own taste. And he has the Greek god body that most men at his age, because he's older than us, would dream of having, literally. So for him to see success in every single aspect of his life, obviously it's because he's a high energy person. And his high energy is coming from his anger. Same thing with you. Maybe you're watching this as a man and you're like, fuck, I'm not where I want to be. I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at the people that snaked me, right? We often talk about snakes, the people that, betrayed me or anything like that, the people that, are not aligned with me at the moment, that bring me down, that drain me down. Maybe you're angry at all of that. That's good, okay? Do not let society tell you, or the doctors or the psychiatrists tell you, oh, you have a problem, you should take that pill, you're born with a mental issue. No, you can use that in the right way. All the most successful recent people that I know all have this anger inside of them, and they're all the same. Whether they're making 100K per month, 500K per month, $1 million a month, $50 million a month, they all have the same issue, which is the anger in the morning. Because the anger is literally a symptom of the gap that you have between your identity and your current reality. Now, you know that identity equals reality, right? This is what they've proven in quantum physics. The only issue with very ambitious individuals is that their identity tends to quantum jump very much quickly into a new level, and obviously because of the lag of time that is bound to happen in this third dimensional realm until you transcend certain laws of the physical universe, then obviously there is a lag of time between the identity and the reality that catches up the identity. And that lag of time creates insane frustration, insane anger towards those people, towards those ambitious individuals, towards us as well, right? Because you're always, if you have a right ambition, if you have the right belief system, you know that nothing is fucking impossible. You know that nothing. Olivier learned English in 6 fucking months. Okay, in 6 months, he already made thousands of dollars online when he was anti-social media. He didn't have any social media, no Facebook, no YouTube, no Instagram, from 15 to 26.
Yes.
Right? From 15 to 26, he was completely anti-social media. In 6 fucking months, he learned English. In 6 fucking months, he was making more than most online coaches out there. Okay? That's the belief system. In 4 months, I remember back in November 2020, I invested all my savings into my first mentor. I was a bitch. I was like constantly wanting to be reassured. Oh, are you sure how many coaching calls are we going to get? Like the worst type of client, but the guy still decided to go with me, and I'm blessed for that. But I was a bitch. I was like, oh, and what do I get in exchange of my money? Typical bullshit client. But I had to go through through this fear to be able to invest in him. I invested all my savings. I was minus like 3 to 5K. I don't remember which card it was, but I was like minus 5K at one point because I invested all my fucking savings into this guy. 2 weeks later, I was making my first sale, okay? And 4 months later, I was already making 5 figures per month, okay? Same thing, without having no clue on what to post, what to do on social media, etc., etc., etc. So this is all just to tell you that the belief system is the most important part. The belief system is the filter of the emotion. 2 people Both people wake up with insane anger because they're not where they want to be. Person A has the belief system of a loser. He's like, society is fucked up. It's designed to keep us trapped and I can't do anything. Belief system, anger through that belief system gets worse and worse and worse, and then he goes into the crime route. Okay? Person B, same level of anger, belief system. I can do anything I put my mind into. I will work and I will put the work in every single day for 10 years if I must, and it will work. Boom, creates a business and then changes his life and changes thousands of people's lives, feeds thousands of families. You see what I mean? So your emotion, your negative emotion is not the problem. The belief system that filters out and allows you to do a certain action is what is most important. This is why we tell you all the time, change your self-concept. Change your self-concept because the universe is a mirror. So if you change your self-concept, how you perceive yourself, you will also change how you perceive the world. Now, obviously, every single day, it's not easy to perceive yourself as the godlike version of yourself because you decided, that's the biggest thing that most people won't tell you, is that you literally decided as an infinite soul, as an unconditional love soul, to incarnate into this third dimensional realm to live something completely opposite to what you are in truth. So that means you decided to incarnate to live fear, to live pain, to live suffering, to live anger, and to live the contrast from what you are truly as a soul. And that's fine. You need to realize that that's part of the game. Once you realize that that's part of the game, there's nothing wrong with you. It's normal for you to be low frequency some days, high frequency some days. You need to have kind of like a system in place where you fall back to your system, you fall back to the routines and the habits, allowing you to, even though you're low frequency one day and you're trying to get back to high frequency and it doesn't work, you still have a system that allows you to constantly put in the reps and at least mentally, spiritually, and physically continuously build momentum throughout the universe. And over time, the universe is going to reflect that back to you. So remember, your self-concept, you can literally use the anger to boost your self-concept as well. I know it sounds weird because sometimes you wake up in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I hate myself, I hate my life. Good. Use that. Realize that you say this because you're not where you want to be, because you know your true potential, you know your true identity. And right now, you're not embodying your true identity. Your true identity is excelling in every single aspect, is successful in every single aspect, is the godlike version of yourself. Why do you think you decided to incarnate into this third dimensional realm, the planet Earth video game that is pain, suffering, contrast, fear, and rage, if it's not to play the fucking game? It's literally telling you in the rules of the game, you need to go through this for you to be successful. And I will finish off with this and then I'll let you speak. But there was an interview with a guy that is coaching like billionaires. And he said the main common traits of all those billionaires is assertiveness. As you said, assertiveness. When you pray, you need to be assertive. And assertiveness literally can be fueled by anger. When you are angry, you're like, hey, now I need to take a decision. I need to move. Otherwise, I'm going to explode. I'm going to do something to myself. So I need to wake up. I need to take action. And that forces you to be assertive in some shape or form. This way, it prevents you from being in a passive mode where you're always overthinking and overanalyzing and stuck in analysis paralysis and not doing shit. So realize that being angry actually pushes more action, pushes more reps, and therefore you get more data in your life, because reps are only getting data. It's only to get data, basically. You're getting more data, and therefore from that data you can take better decision, gather more data, get better decision, etc., etc., etc. And that's how also from a logical, physical standpoint, you're able to progressively over time build that momentum and increasingly quantum jump into new realities.
Intermittent fasting. Yes, you heard it right. Intermittent fasting. Why? Because you feed your spirit. And when you feel like, damn, I'm about to jerking off. You shouldn't, by the way. But when you have this thought, don't feed into it. Use your intermittent fasting to gain more energy, more clarity, because the more you feed your spirit with intermittent fasting and prayer, the less those bad emotions will have control over you. And you will have so much mental clarity. You will be so much productive. You will have so much confidence in what you can accomplish. So yes, you have all the tools within you, but it is up to you whether you choose to feed into your bad emotions and feel bad after that, or you choose to use that as a weapon, as weapons to be the best version of yourself.
You have your old frequency, aka your old identity, and you have your new frequency, aka your new identity. You need to realize that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency in this universe. Therefore, whatever you put your attention on, attention is alignment. Where attention goes, energy flows. So, where you put your attention in life, you give more energy to, and that reflects that back to you because the universe is a mirror. Meaning what? Meaning that the more you concentrate on the old frequency, the old identity, the old things that your old identity would do, the more you send out energy to that thing, that frequency. Therefore, this comes back to you around more. You see what I mean? So instead of focusing as a dumbass on your anger, instead of focusing as a dumbass on your lust, instead of focusing as a dumbass on, oh, poor me, sadness, whatever, the grief, use this energy and direct the focus onto productive actions. Because if you do that, you reshape the focus and you change the attention. You change literally the course of the energy. And you change the course of the energy, meaning that what you get in reflection, because the universe is a mirror, is changed as well. This is why we're telling you, have a spiritual, mental, and physical way of expressing your negative emotions, okay? This is also why, when you think about it, all the greatest personal brands, okay? The people that are making the most amount of money with their personal brands online, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, have you noticed? They all create content that is highly emotional, right? Think of the last few people that you know that have made a huge impact online these last few years. They're highly emotional. They're very ups and downs sometimes. They use emotion, whether it's bad, negative, or whatever. They share their vulnerability, they share their authenticity, they share their emotion, because at the end of the day, what do people connect the most with? Well, emotions. Why do you think there's like Hollywood sells stories, they sell emotion? That there's no value, right? There is no intrinsic value in the stories. Some of them may be because it makes you think, wow. But at the end of the day, it's pure emotion. They're only selling stories. They're only selling emotion. So if you want to, what does it tell you? If you want to make more money with your personal brand, with your online coaching business, with your brick and mortars, with your marketing, whatever, you need to share more of your emotions and how it relates to what you have to offer. Because at the end of the day, why does Nike, all those brands that you know of, Apple or anything like that, why do they, quote unquote, hide behind an influencer or personal figure or a human? Is because it's really hard to sell by logic. You need to sell by emotion. So all those emotions are literally a competitive advantage for you, for your business, for you to make money. If you are able to be more vulnerable, more authentic, this is when people will buy from you. In this AI world, authenticity and true human connection is getting lost. And this is what people crave more and more. They will sell you the bullshit of, oh, AI is going to replace the world and they're going to replace all the things and, you need AI in your life. Yes, of course, you need to not be a dumbass and adapt yourself to the trend of the market. But at the end of the day, that creates a new demand, which is literally people crave connection with people. That's why OnlyFans blew up, because people were sold the lie of connection behind a paywall. That's why some paid community, the e-girls is like it's basically like a gamer guy that plays online, because he wants like to have a girlfriend for like 2 hours. He pays a girl that plays the same game and they play together for 2 hours and she gets rich off of that. You see, but that's like, if that isn't a symptom of the loneliness of society, because people need connection. And the best way you can connect, honestly, and you want to make money, you have some kind of transformation in health, wealth, relationship, you've transformed your mind, you've transformed your body, you've transformed your relationship, you've transformed your finances, is literally launch your personal brand, share your thoughts, share your teachings, share what has helped you online, and you will naturally gather a tribe of like-minded individuals. This is how Olivier was able to make so much money, by following the quantum protocol that I've given him, the Godlike Reality Creation Protocol on the quantum business side. Because the more you're authentic with your audience, the more people can resonate with you. Because why? The authenticity is one of the highest vibration on the scale. They don't show you that on this map of consciousness, given to most people. But they've done experiments on that. The highest vibration over love is authenticity. When you're the most authentic self, this is when you'll make the most amount of money. Why? Because you're tapping into your emotions. I'm telling you, this comes from a guy that was depressed, suicidal, had always strong rage and anger issues. I've always been this way. I remember, I'm going to tell you an anecdote. When I was a kid, I was such a problem that at one point I was in the airport. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And some of you may relate to this. Retrospectively, when I think about this, I think it's because I couldn't understand why I was so stuck and constrained in this third dimensional realm. My soul couldn't understand why the fuck I made this decision to incarnate into this planet. And I was so angry about that. And I remember when I was in the airport, I was in the airport in Norway at the time. I was with my father. My father said something, or he didn't want to let me do something, which for me at the time was very unjust. I hate injustice. It wasn't necessarily just, it's not the time. No. It was like a restriction for my freedom. And it felt so unjust that I started to stop breathing and I wanted my head to explode. You see what I mean? Like I was so angry that I wanted to kill myself already at that age. And I wanted to explode my head by, like you see in the movies, like you see in the cartoons, because I was so angry of all these repeated lack of freedom, if that makes sense. Because he wanted to wake me up, I think he gave me how do you call it?
Slap?
A slap on the butt, for instance. And at the time in France, it was legal, right? It was still legal. I don't know if it's still legal in France today. Maybe. But either way, in Norway, it wasn't. And so therefore, the authorities started to surround him. Yeah, like police officer and authorities started to surround him. And I remember this day because it was like, this is so fucked up. You have like one belief system against another belief system and against another belief system. You have my belief system, which is freedom, which is fuck injustice, to his belief system, you need to be like this, to another belief system, they're like, whoa, what are you doing with your child? So you see, like, just to tell you, if you're angry right now, if you're enraged, and if you think that no fucking thing makes sense, I get you. I absolutely get you, because deep in my soul, deep in my core, I know my soul is pissed off. So a part of me is pissed off of being incarnated into this third dimensional realm with all this limitation. And this is why I'm doing these videos today. And this is why I've had my evolutions, because I couldn't stay the version of myself that was stuck without freedom and that was just living a normal fucking life. I don't know how some of you guys, maybe you'll relate, but I don't know, when I look at the average man, overweight, balding, zero health markers at the top, getting enslaved more and more in the 9-to-5, not realizing that he's with the digital ideas, digital idea with a centralized all of that for you to get fucked even more. I don't realize how this guy doesn't have enough self-awareness enough to say, okay, I'm getting fucked. Maybe I should move. Maybe I should do something, right? And he's getting, he's getting fucking manipulated by a troll at home in a sexless marriage, and he doesn't think like, my life is a problem. Or maybe he does, maybe he has no more balls to do anything. So either way, this is a message, again, from love, because I know what it is, what it's like to feel lost. I know what it's like to feel angry. Guys, your anger can be your greatest enemy or your greatest gift. As Olivier said, as I told you, if you know how to transmute it into the right way with a right protocol, a right routine, a right guidance, it's going to save you. It's going to save your life. You're going to learn how to transmute it. I'm going to tell you, the friend that we have in common, I thought I was a weirdo and I thought I was like super angry and enraged and the most enraged motherfucker I knew. No, there's more people that are more enraged and more bottled anger than you are. And that's good, because then you realize, okay, I'm not crazy. You are not crazy for being angry. You're not crazy. You just need to use that in the right way.
It's okay to be an anomaly. It's not okay to be average, to conform to the social programming, because the more you take the route that you are destined to take, the more you will feel in peace with yourself. The more you take the world that the masses take, the less you will be in peace. So it all starts with you, within you, and with your belief system.
And just to conclude, you need to realize that if you're watching this video, it's up till this point, it's no coincidence, okay? Nothing in this universe happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. So if the fact that you're watching this video up till this point, listen carefully to the following message. It doesn't get easier, you get better, okay? When I was broke, I still had the same anger issues as when I was making 10K per month, 20K per month, 50K per month, 100K per month, okay? The thing is this, you get better. You learn how to navigate entropy. What do I mean by entropy? The collective consciousness and the collective egregore that it creates, egregore is basically an energetical being that you create with where you put your attention and the level of your frequency. So basically the planet Earth has a certain egregore, which is, mass consciousness basically.
By the way, every religion or spiritualities is an egregore. Islam is an egregore.
Christianity
is an egregore. Everything is an egregore.
Absolutely, because before everything exists physically, it needs to exist vibrationally, right? So at the moment you start to think of something over and over and over again, you create an egregore. Your concentration and your attention creates energy, and therefore a condensation of energy that becomes more and more real. What you call real, but more and more dense in terms of vibration, therefore more physical. Literally, you can sense it sometimes. When you enter a country, for instance, you can sense the atmosphere. That's the egregore. That's the vibration of the country. We also talked about, I don't remember where, I think it was in my podcast or your podcast, where we spoke about the different vibrations of different countries. And the more you feel a difference or a difference in vibration and difference in density when you enter a country, the more it means that your frequency is different than the country, right? Be very aware of where you go, because some countries, some cities even, because of their egregore, because of their condensation of energy, of vibration, may not fit you, right? Maybe you have friends that say, let's go to Dubai. And then you go to Dubai and you don't feel it. You're like, I don't know. I think I vibe at another level. But just to tell you, it doesn't get easier, you get better, okay? You will every single day, because of the mass consciousness, you watching this video, you are an anomaly. You're ambitious, you're bound to become an anomaly, okay? So you resonate with this message. You want to have the best girl, you want to have the best business, you want to make a lot of money, you want to have the best body, you want to excel in every single aspect, you want to be a multidimensional individual. Cool. If you want to be a multidimensional winning individual, you will naturally every single day fight the mass consciousness egregore, which is going to drain you down. This is the law of energetical equilibrium. The universe is a beautiful system that keeps the energy as it were, which is why it's so hard for you to get out of your old identity or get out of your old frequency. The more you stay stuck in the old frequency, in the old you, the bigger the challenges and the harder it gets for you to get out and do a quantum jump into a new identity. Which is why if you're watching this video and you resonate with our message, DM us on Instagram, click the link in the description, because if you want guidance that helps you take the right steps because you don't know where to go, take the right steps to make sure you get into that new identity, you get into that new frequency to be able to quantum jump into a new reality, you know what to do. Now coming back to the egregore points, every single day you wake up, you're going to fight the law of entropy. You're going to fight against this egregore that is draining you down. So it's normal for you to feel bad some days. In physics, we say an object that is still is bound to be still, and an object in movement will keep being in movement. It's easier to be in movement. That's why, for instance, when you push a boulder down the hill, in the beginning, it's really, really hard to push it. And then when it gets momentum, then it's easier and easier and easier and easier. It's the same thing with entropy in the opposite. The law of entropy states that basically every single day, you're kind of like start from zero. Some days you won't feel like it because you're building so much momentum that the entropy, you crush the entropy that is set every single day. But every single day, waking up in the morning early is hard, going to the gym is hard, doing all the things that you know you should be doing is hard. This is entropy. And the entropy, the level of entropy that you get is based on the mass consciousness and the global egregore that the masses and the planet Earth has. And it's very, very low. And that's why sometimes you feel heavy, because you're getting drained by this vibration all around you that is pushing you down. And because you're an anomaly, because you want to excel in every single aspect, health, wealth, relationship, you have to put more energy into the universe to be able to stay an anomaly. Even staying an anomaly, you need to put more effort just staying an anomaly, just staying unique. But that's the beautiful thing. I'm telling you.
And that's why you have the duty to find your tribe.
Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, even though you need to input more energy than all the people that are normal around you, it's all worth it. At the end of the day, you will control your income, you will control the people that you have a relationship with, you will control your wealth, you will control your health, you will control everything in your life because you are in direct communication with the universe and because the universe rewards the anomalies. So, guys, love you all. This was a message for the people that don't really know what to do with their anger or negative emotion or anything like that. I get you, we get you. Don't worry, everything happens for a reason. If you're watching this video to the end, you know what to do. Go transmute your anger.